So who would be your top ghost faces, and how many ghost faces do you want in Scream 6? Ooh,
Top
double
Ghostfaces,
question.
period, or you mean just strictly Scream Six? Because that's two different questions.
So two questions. First one, top ghost face. Fate, who's your number one?
In the history of Scream,
Whole history.
um, like I mean, I put Billy up there as number one, but I really love Mickey. Like I think Mickey from an aesthetic look, a stature size, just brutality, the manipulation. If you don't believe that Mickey manipulated Sydney more than any other character in the history of Scream, I challenge you to go rewatch and just focus on Mickey. Everything from Mickey and the when he's sitting in the hospital with her and he starts planting the seeds to him telling Sydney, "I'm going to go pick you up." Go to the theater, dress up as Ghostface, taunt Sydney, leave, knowing that I just had why am I blanking on Derek? I just told Derek to go pick you up. So that way when you run out, the first person you see is Derek, thinking that he's Ghostface, because I just saw Ghostface and play. I mean, dude, the manipulations are incredible. And his backstory is the best out of every single killer. A serial killer turned Ghostface. He was already a serial killer. He already, who knows how many people he killed before that, and then became Ghostface because Mrs. Loomis was like, "Hey, I'll pay you," and he's like, "Yeah, sure." Like it's
Dude, it's
great. I love
awesome.
it.
I totally agree. I just watched Scream 2 the other day, and I just every time I watch it, I fall in love with Mickey more and more. Like, and he's in the movie so much more than I remember. Like, he has little tiny scenes, but he's
They're
there.
quick. They're
Yeah, they're
quick
so
little
quick,
hits.
man. He has like little tiny conversations with like Haley or whatever that like you totally forget about, and you're like, oh my
Yeah,
god, these two would have been great killers together. That was what I was thinking the whole time. Like, oh, dang it.
yeah.
Okay, but second part of that question: how many ghost faces do you want in Scream 6?
At least three.
At least three. Do you ever now? Do you have a reason for that, or do you just want to see something different?
Well, multiple things. Like one, I I want something different. Obviously, yeah, it would be different. Like we expect to. I think in New York, the New York setting, I don't really think you can get away with one killer. Because think of how vast New York is. Think how hard it is to run around, to various places, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like where like Woodsboro, you could get away with one killer, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a small town. You could probably get from one end to the other. Although based on the Scream movies, especially Scream 5, it seems like it's a mass. It seems like you're going state to state. Like Judy is on the phone with the cops and like as able to turn around, come back, get murdered. Wes is able to get murdered all before the cops can even show up. Like it's just crazy. But um, that one, I just want something new that makes sense. I think at least three killers make sense, and two, I just think it makes sense if you have like that mastermind orchestrator, the one who put everything together, and then you have like the arms. So you have the brain and you have the arms.
Yeah.
Maybe that third killer is like Mrs. Loomis, where the only person she really killed very likely was Randy. Outside of that, like I could see something like that where maybe, let's say it's the Stone, Christopher Stone. Let's say it's the therapist, right? So if the therapist is the mastermind, and then he has like his two disciples or whatever, like that would make sense to me. That's something that I'd like to see. So yeah. Anyway,
so yeah, I'll answer the question though too. So who would be your top ghost face? My number one's probably Stu. Like I really like Stu. Jill's a close second. I think yeah, Jill has moved up a lot in my ranking. I actually put her above Billy now. Hot take. But those are my top two. Those are my top two for right now. I really like both of them a lot. It's a mix between their motive and performance and reveal. I think it's all of them. Like Jill's is the most upsetting. Stu's is like actually really shocking, and then the performance from both of them in the final acts are just horrifying for totally different reasons. Like I'm laughing at Stu, but I'm also really creeped out by him. And I'm like, when they're stabbing each other, man, that really incites some terror in me. I don't know what it is, but those two guys stabbing each other in the kitchen, yelling at each other. There's something just horrifying about that to me. Love it.
the Wayans brothers was a good show. A good show.
And you know what? It's scary. The scary movie does it pretty well too, man.
They do it so good.
It's
Surprise.
great. Oh man, I gotta watch that one again. It's been so
Dude,
long.
it sucks though because every time I watch Scream, I see Scary Movie. Like Scary Movie has forever ruined Scream for me because anytime, like it's like even when Sydney's like running, like I just picture Sydney like just doing the crazy run or whatever, and then in the end when he's like,
Dude, and she's
"Outta
really
here, ain't
good in
nobody
that.
stabbing me."
Yeah. Oh my god, what is her name? That actress. She's fantastic. She's really good in that first in Scary Movie though. I actually really Anna Faris. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good in that, dude. I really like her as an actress.
She was
kicks ass.
great. She did a good job.
Yeah. But yeah, wow, sidetrack there.
Yeah.
How many Ghostfaces do you want in Scream 6? I'm here with 3 too. I really want to see 3. Just for like it's a little bit something different, but I don't want him to just be like, hey, 3 killers for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could do that. It wouldn't be like the biggest, like, I mean, see, it just seems like a little random. I feel like you could write something really interesting there. Like to say that one's a mastermind and the other 2 are the muscle, essentially, like kind of like what you said. But I just want everybody to have a different job, a different role. And maybe because you have more people this time around, it complicates the relationship a little bit. This could be the reason you have the downfall at the end. Why our main characters get the up on our 3 killers. Because it seems like, fuck, if there's going to be 3 people with knives who are totally crazy running around trying to stab you, maybe 1 or 2 final girls might be might be out of luck, but I could see them having like some discourse in their relationship with each other, and maybe that's why they all get fucked in the end, or something like that. Or maybe one gets away still, even throughout all that. But I just don't want it to be your same old, same old. That's the big thing I'm looking for from Scream 6. I want him to be I just want them to be truthful on that whole we're doing something different thing that they're kind of teasing to us. They're teasing a different tone. They're teasing it as being much darker, as being Radio Silence's film. They've been promising us more blood and gore and a scarier ghost face. I want to actually see that. And, I'll be honest, man. I'm actually at the point where if the reveal sucks, I'm okay with that, as long as they've given us a product that is just something different and a motivated new direction for the franchise, where it's like, hey, this is darker Scream. It still feels like Scream, but we're taking it to a darker place. Here's some more messier kills, some more blood, some more guts. Okay, you know what? If it's a Richie reveal again this time around, where it's like, yeah, kind of obvious, I could have figured it out. Fine. But if they changed it up and they made it something new and something fresh here, I'll be okay with it. Like that's to me, that's the biggest thing that I'm relying on, the feel of the overall film.
To add to that though, and like obviously none of us want it ruined, right? None of us want it spoiled. But I don't think the Ghostface mystery and reveal is as significant as it once was. Like,
yeah, I totally agree.
Since '96, like if you've seen the first Scream movie, I don't think like Scream 2 was blatantly obvious. Blatantly obvious. Like it was like, I mean, you see Mickey and you're like, that guy's the killer. Like, I mean, Randy.
The first time you see him, you're kind of
like, as soon as you see him, you're like, okay, like I don't need to watch the rest of this movie. That guy.
I don't trust that. There's too much gel in his hair, man. I don't trust him.
Like that guy's got. If he's not the killer, that's disappointing. But like, I have yet to see a Scream movie since the first '96, right? And that's because that was just like. It was always just like one killer. It wasn't even so much Billy, because Billy was so obvious. He was outside of just like wearing a sign that says "I'm the killer." Like he was blatantly obvious, but the execution was so well done that it was almost too obvious. You're like, there's no way it's him. It has to be somebody else. And then
that's why it works,
Yeah. And then you find out it's him, and then you find out, oh, Stu too? Like, oh, there's 2 of them? Like, that was like the big thing. But outside of that, after that, I have never seen a Scream movie that I was like, I never saw those 2 coming. Like, I've never seen.
Jill got me. Jill, okay, actually, oddly enough, Jill and Amber both got me. Like, I really was like, Richie's definitely, like, Richie and Charlie I had pegged.
Did you never suspect them, is my point. Like,
Amber, I suspected at one point, but I wasn't sold on it by the 3rd act. Jill genuinely got me. Like, that was the only sequel killer where I was just genuinely, like, did not fucking see that coming. I really thought it was Charlie, and I always forget the other kid's name. I just can't remember the fucking idiot's name. But the guy that's always filming is it no, not Trevor. Trevor's a red herring. He's so what's up?
The one that was always filming everything?
I always forget his name. I don't know why. Dylan. I want to say Dylan, but that's not right. It's not
I don't think
Dylan.
that's not right. If I heard it, I'd be
no.
like, that's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
But I really thought it was those two. But I do see what you're saying though, man. Like there's a formula to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a
very simple formula. But
very
Robbie.
Everybody's a suspect. Robbie, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Deanna. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. But yeah, no, I mean seriously, like they're like, again, obviously, like none of us want the killer reveal spoiled and ruined, but I don't think it's as significant as it once was. I think the execution and delivery of the film is a lot more important. I think
now in the sixth entry, yes, I totally agree. Like I'm less excited to see who the killers are, and I'm just more excited to see like a similar setup, but doing something like I'm excited to see what the tone's gonna be of the film. I think that's
you gotta keep what Scream inherently is intact, right? So you gotta have like you gotta have like the the phone call, you gotta have like the obviously Ghostface, you gotta have some meta sprinkled in, you gotta have the big reveal at the end. But like outside of that, I think it's pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, don't like turn them into a robot or send them to space or something, but like you can go different directions. You can try different things. You can, get a little creative here. Is kind of my thinking. But
yeah, and I this could be the movie to do that. This could be the movie to finally break that mold and finally do something different. And that's the biggest thing for me. Even if the mystery is like, yeah, I can figure it out. That's whatever. I'm more interested in what the motive's going to be, what the tone's going to be, who's going to die, how they're going to die, what the kills are going to be like. I am excited for a good Ghostface reveal. Don't get me wrong, but those are the things that have me the most excited. I just really hope that they get that right with this film. And I do have a lot of confidence in it, dude. I mean, they wouldn't be that, like, they're doubling down on it, man. I mean, the Scream 5 marketing, sure. There was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of the, this is a different Ghostface, saying all the shit like, it's an honor, Sydney, Like, you definitely felt like they were going for something different, where when you got the product, it's a very similar movie. It's a very, very familiar movie. That's what I should say. It's very familiar. It's a little faster, it does some things different, but I think that this could be the one that finally just is like, holy shit. I've never seen this before. This is the sequel to stand out amongst everything else.
I think it is. I think this has the potential to be the best sequel. And like Blucka, this kind of ties into like what we're talking about. Blucka said, do you want each Ghostface to be a random stranger from the internet again, or friends or family? I actually wouldn't mind. If I'm being honest, I think the route they're going to take is friends and family, because that's just always what Scream kind of is. And like, yeah, Scream 5 was like random stranger on the internet. I actually kind of prefer that. Like, yeah. I would love if there's a mastermind, that has like a connection and tie-in. I don't want it to be like, like you said, like, I don't want it to be like Stu's brother, uncle's nephew's cousin or something like that. I mean, have some tie-in to like a reason as to why. Like, why are you targeting Sam and them? Like, that person has a connection. And then I would love if like the two Patsies are basically Mickey, where it's like Mickey didn't have no tie-in. He didn't have no connection. He was just crazy. And Mrs. Loomis was like, you're crazy enough to do this. Do you want to do this? That's another reason I loved Mickey, is because he wasn't Billy's cousin. Like, he wasn't like, he didn't date, Sydney 5 years earlier, right? Like, there was no reason. It was like, he's just this guy that was like, I enjoy killing people. I would love that. I would love if you had one tie-in connection, and then you had like two killers that were just like, why are you doing this? And it's like, because you were home type thing. Like, it's just like, because why not? Like, yeah. I'd love to kill. Like, I saw you one day and was like, I would love to stab her in the face. Like, that would be great.
And give me that, man. Give me the, yeah. That's how that's how a messed up killer thinks anyways, And yeah. Like, I've always found movies that were not personal to the characters more scary. Like, does that make sense? Like, yeah. The Strangers is so terrifying to me because that could happen to anybody. Like, that could happen no matter what. If you're the most prepared person on the planet or whatever, you're like, you are ready for something like that. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you spent your whole life choosing your friends right or whatever, or all that bullshit. These people could come to your house and kill you, and that's terrifying, man. Horrifying. I hate it. I love it though. I love it for a movie concept because it's so scary. I have no fear in my mind that Billy Loomis is going to come sneak under my bed or something and wait for me to fall asleep so he can slice my throat open, you know?
Yeah.
If I was Sidney Prescott, I might feel that way.
To be fair though, I mean, they, you know, what is it like 80% of crimes are committed by somebody you know? You know, like
sure.
that's what the whole tagline. That's why the whole tagline was it's always somebody you know. Like because that's actually true. Like most of the time when like if your house gets broken into, they always tell you, like even cops will tell you, you should look at your friends, you should look at family, like people you know. Because
but I'm talking like a movie and how it plays, you know?
No, yeah. No,
I'm talking about how something will play on screen with inducing fear in your audience. That's what I'm specifically
100%.
going with, you know?
I
get the realism there. I do. But man, there are more interesting, I don't know, there are more interesting avenues, I think.